صل على محمد وآل محمد. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على أول الخلق والعدد سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الأئمة المعصومين المنتجبين ولا سيما حجة الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح المؤمنين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. Allah in the Quran says that it is He who has created everything on planet Earth for you. Everything that you see, even that which we do not even know about, Allah says, I have created everything for you. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. Everything. From land, from the oceans. Who did Allah make that for? For us as human race. Which brings the question, if that is the case, then why am I made? If everything's made for me, then why am I made? What is the purpose of me being there? Just before we go into the answer from the Quran of why are we there, if we were to look at what Allah has created for us, land 30%, ocean 70%. In 2024, with all the technology that we have, all the science, advance and machinery, we have only discovered 5% of the ocean. And Allah says, everything that I have made for you, in land, on the land, and in the ocean, it is for you. What does that make you feel? Special. You know, who am I after all? Allah is giving you that worth. See this all? I have made it for you. Okay, so why am I made, oh Allah? Allah gives an answer in the Quran. I would like this answer to be from you before I quote the ayah. Are you aware why are we here? What's the purpose of us? Allah says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have created, in fact, I have not created. This shows the whole purpose. Not some of your purpose is that you worship me. No, I have not created men or the human race and the jinn except that they worship me. Now, what does worship mean? Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allah, when He says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, He's referring to يَعْرِفُونَ. Allah has created you and the jinn, so you have what? The ma'rifah of Allah. Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam in a narration, he says, خَلَقَ اللَّهُ الْخَلْقَ لِيَعْرِفُوهُ فَإِذَا عَرَفُوهُ عَبَدُوهُ وَإِذَا عَبَدُوهُ استغنوا عمن سواه. Look how he breaks it down beautifully, alayhi salam. He says Allah has created the human race for what? Or the khalq, the creation for what? So they get to know Him. Once they know Him, what would they do? They would submit to Him. Once they submit to Him, only then they will not need anyone else except for Him. If you truly submit to Allah, you'll find that you need no one else. He is enough. In fact, in the Quran, He Himself says, أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِكَافٍ عَبْدَهُ. He's asking a rhetorical question. You come across this ayah, read the translation. What does it say? Is Allah not sufficient for His servant? And He leaves it there for you. Am I not enough for you? Do you really need anyone else to go to? All your needs, I have taken care of. All your wants, I can look after them. Ud'uni astajib lakum. Pray to me and I will answer you. It is one of the 4 promises that Allah makes in the Quran. Ud'uni astajib lakum. He's not saying maybe, maybe not. He says, pray to me and I will answer. But you have to make that step. And even then, when Allah sees that we as human beings are drifting away from Him, He still invites us. This is out of His rahmah, out of His mercy. This is why you have a month like the month of Ramadan. You find people what? They're more towards Allah in the month of Ramadan than any other months. Why? This is an invitation. Come, I've given you 30 days. Come back to me in them. And you find many people, and inshallah we are amongst them, who benefit from the month of Ramadan. They go to become better people, closer to Allah. So the whole purpose of our creation is what? That we worship Him. Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, in Dua Abu Hamza al-Thumali, he has a very beautiful line. Very beautiful line. You may think, okay, you know what, I know Allah because I have invested some time, I have done my research, I have done my studies. No. The Imam says, Bika araftuk wa anta dalaltani ilayk wa da'awtani ilayk wa lawla anta lam adri ma ant. Allah, Allah, what a beautiful line by Imam al-Sajjad. He says, Bika araftuk, I got to know you through you. It was you who invited me to you. It was you who led me to you. And if it wasn't for you, I had not known you. Nothing of my own. All those researches that I've been doing, nothing. Allah has led you to do that research so you get to know Him. That ayah that woken you up from the inside that you read in the Quran, Allah has led you to that. That dua that you have come across, Allah has led you to that. That majlis that you have attended, which has opened your eyes, Allah has led you to that. It was meant to be. Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam say, Nahnu Ahlul Bayt la nu'minu bis-sudaf. We the Ahlul Bayt, we do not believe in coincidences. Things happen for a reason. Everything has a reason. Now, you may or may not understand the reason, but He knows. All you have to do is what? Submit to Him. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And whomsoever trusts in Allah, Allah is sufficient. These are promises of Allah, sufficient. You don't need to go anyone else. You don't need to knock people's doors. Come to me and see what I can do for you. So our purpose is that we worship Allah. Now the next question is, why should I worship Allah? Not because He's created me. Why? Why should I worship Allah? Imam Ali alayhi salam has a very beautiful narration in Nahj al-Balagha. He says, هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ فَاسْتَنْتِقُوهُ. What does it mean? This is the Quran. Ask the Quran to talk to you. Can the Quran talk to you? It doesn't talk to you. But if you were to ask for the question, you can seek your answer from the Quran. So let's ask the Quran, why should I worship Allah? You have many reasons. I will give you 5 to 6 reasons. Number 1, Ya ayyuhan nas u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum. This one ayah gives you 2 reasons. All people, so it's not talking to Muslimin, mu'mineen, all people, 8 billion people today, and people who were before us, people who were to come after us, Allah is saying to them, all people worship your Lord. Who is your Lord? The one who has created you. So Rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum. Before we go to the Rabbakum khalaqakum, what does khalaqakum mean? Created you. What were we before? Nothing. Adam. Nothing. There's a surah in the Quran, Surah Al-Insan, or Surah Al-Dahr, two names for that surah. The first ayah begins with what? هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Has there been a time for the human being when he was not even worth being remembered? What does it mean? We were nothing. Nothing. Yet we are here now. If it wasn't for Allah, we would not be here. So number one reason Allah says, why is He worthy of your worship? خَلَقَكُمْ. He created you. And He is your Rabb. What does Rabb mean? The one who looks after you, the one who takes care of you. And these two reasons alone, Allah says, I am worthy enough of your worship. Just because of I have created you, you are nothing, and then I have taken care of you. I have not left you to your own self. Okay, you know what? I have created you, go live your own life. No, I have set a plan for you. I have set a path. I have sent 124,000 prophets. I have sent you 12 imams. I've not left you to your own, okay, do whatever you want. No. Allah in the Quran says, أَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَإِنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Again, a rhetorical question. Do you think that we have created you in vain, and to us you do not come back? What do you think? Have we been created in vain? There's a purpose for our life. I am on earth to achieve something, and then I go back to Him. I'm not here just to follow my own will or to follow my desire, hawa. No. I am here for a reason. And to understand this reason, Allah has set the best of role models, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The best of the examples is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. No one can come back to Allah on the Day of Judgment. Oh Allah, I had no idea. What was I doing on planet Earth? No. In the Quran, Allah says, لِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. On the Day of Judgment, Allah will have the biggest hujjah, the biggest proof. No one can come to Him. My father was, God forbid, someone who would drink. This is why I drank. No. No. You had your aql. Why did you not use your aql? Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salam says to a companion of his, لِلَّهِ عَلَى خَلْقِهِ حُجَّتان. Allah has two hujjah, two proofs on His creation. What are they? Number one, حُجَّةٌ ظَاهِرَةٌ وَحُجَّةٌ بَاطِنَةٌ. One hujjah, one proof is the apparent proof, and one is the inner proof. What is the apparent one? The Anbiya. The Anbiya are the apparent. You have 124,000 prophets, you have the Quran. This is Allah's hujjah against you on the Day of Judgment. What is the hujjah number two? Hujjatun batina. The inner hujjah. And what is this? Aql. Aql. You do not have to be a Muslim to know that what you're doing is wrong or right. You don't need to be a Muslim. If you even were to go to someone, let's say, from the road and tell them, look, I will give you £100 and I want you to say a lie. And I will give you £100 if you say the truth. What would they choose? The truth. They're getting £100 regardless. So the inner aql tells you what? To go towards goodness, not bad. Not bad. So Allah has this hujjah against you. Anyone knows that you don't have to be a Muslim. Can you lie? They will tell you no, lying is bad. Even kids are taught this in nursery, 3-4 years old. But lying is bad. Using foul language, aql tells you it's bad. Bullying someone, taking someone's right. I don't need to be a Muslim. So Allah on the Day of Judgment will tell these people, you cannot come to me and say, I have done 1, 2, 3 because of I have seen people doing it, or I had bad company, or I had peer pressure. No. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam lived in the worst of people, yet he made the best of them. Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib likewise. Imam Hassan was not influenced by people around him. Rather, he influenced them to do good. So 2 reasons for Allah's worship: khalaqakum, and He is your Rabb. Number 3, if you want to ask the Quran, I want you to read this with me. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِيلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. What does it say after this? فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ. Why should they worship the Lord of the house, referring to Kaaba? Why? Because He has fed them when they were hungry, and He has protected them when they were scared. This alone makes Him worthy of your worship. Even if you were to look at your food, the way Allah in the Quran in Surah Al-Abasa has an ayah, He says, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. Let the insan look at his food. Why would Allah tell you look at your food? There must be something behind it. Don't just look at the food when it's ready made for you to eat. No. Look at the stages that this food has to go through to come to you. When you reflect about this, you will think, you know what, Allah is ahsanul khaliqeen. The way you have to plant it in the land, and then you have to water it, then the sunlight will have an effect on it, then it has to grow, then the trees know that I am the tree, for example, apple, orange, watermelon. All this is differentiated. Who created this system? Allah. So when He tells you فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ, look at the food, not when it's ready made and then you are ready to consume it. Look at the stages that it has to go through. Had it not been for Him, who would have done that for you? No one. And for that reason, He is worthy of your worship. أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ. When you're hungry, He feeds you. Number 4, when you're fearful, He protects you. He looks after you. How many times we thought, you know what, this is an end that we cannot go through it. Like there's even when you drive, what's it called? You cannot go through a road. No entry or dead end. Okay, when we think it is a dead end, what does Allah tell you? No, I'm still there for you. I can look after you. I will get you out of this trouble, provided that you do what? Allah says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Whomsoever is God conscious, what would Allah do? Allah will make a way out for him. Allah will make a way out for him. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And He shall sustain him from where he did not expect. Has this happened with me? Yes, I can tell you, definitely. I can, hands down, I was not expecting things in my life. Just out of nothing, Allah has paved a way out. I'm sure everyone can apply this in their life. Everyone. Whenever you thought there's no way out, you find there is a way out. Who created that way out for you? Allah. You were fearful, yet He looked after you. And for that reason, He says, He is worthy of your worship. That's number 4. Number 5, Allah says to Musa alayhi salam, Inni ana Allah, la ilaha illa ana, fa'abudni. I am Allah. There is no God except for me. And for that reason, you have to submit to me. The most powerful, the creator, the sustainer. No one is above Allah. And for that reason, we all submit to Allah. These reasons that I have shared with you through the Quran, if you were to break them down and reflect upon them, you'll see that, you know what, more than convincing, He is the only one who should be worshipped. When Allah gives you these answers through the Quran, why does He give it to you? So you reflect. When you worship Him next time, you worship Him with ma'rifah. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, أَوَّلُ الدِّينِ مَعْرِفَتُهُ. The beginning of the religion is you do what? You have the recognition of Allah. Once you have the recognition, and then from here on you can go places. But if I am on the foundation that, okay, He is there, but I don't see the reason why should I worship Him, or I don't give that time to Allah, This is where deviating comes from. Why do we deviate as Muslims? We have no understanding. No understanding of Allah. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in dua, one of his dua in Sahif al-Sajjadiyah, he says to Allah, the one who has no ma'rifah of you will sin against you. What does it mean? If you have ma'rifah, you would not sin. You would not sin. You'll only sin against Allah when you have no recognition of Allah. But once you have that recognition, it changes everything. And then he speaks about love in Munajat al-Muhibbin, the whispers of those who are in love with Allah. Just the first line alone, just the first line. What does he say to Allah? Ilahi man dha alladhi dhaqa halawata mahabbatika farama anka badala. Oh Allah, the one who has tasted the sweetness of your worship, why would he go and find something elsewhere? Tasted. We have to taste the worship of Allah. Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says, halawa, tasted the sweetness of the worship of Allah. This is why you find Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam worshipping Allah. Not because they are ma'soomeen, not because they are imams. They find that sweetness in the worship of Allah. When Rasulullah tells Abu Dharr, وَأَنَا لَا أَشْبَعُ مِنَ الصَّلَاةِ, I never get enough of salah. Why? Because he is tasting that sweetness of Allah in that worship. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبِ. It is only with Allah's remembrance will the heart find peace. This is what Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam find. When you tell someone Ahlul Bayt would pray 1,000 rak'ah, oh come on, that's exaggeration. No, it's not exaggeration. When you're truly in love with Allah, you will always make time for things. But when someone wants excuse, a way out, yes. Oh, I'm too busy. I don't have time. I will do it later. Why? Because we do not have that connection with Him. We don't have that sweetness of the worship that Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam find in prayers. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, after losing 72 of his companions, the best of people, what does he do? He prostrates to Allah. He says to Allah, Ilahi taraktul khalqa turran fi hawaka wa aytamtul iyala likay araka fala in qatta'tani bil hubbi irban irba lama mal al fuadu ila siwaka. Notice these lines. This is the lines of the Imam when he lost Asghar, Akbar, Abbas, Habib, John, the best of the companions. He says to Allah, Oh Allah, I have left all this creation for your love. تركت الخلق طرا في هواك وأيتمت العيال لكي أراك. And I'm making my children orphan, so I do what? So I come and meet you. If you were to cut me with your love piece by piece, this heart of Hussein will go to no one else except for you. Where do you find this? Only at the door of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. I'm not being biased just because I love these 14 people, I keep quoting them. It's a challenge. Anyone, go and bring me leaders who are better than Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Bring me those people who came to them, the companions. Look what they have become just because they have followed Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So the result of worshipping Allah, even then, Allah is so kind. He doesn't just tell you, worship me because I have created you to worship me. Worship me because I have given you everything. Allah says, if you do what I have asked you to do, what would you gain? There's a reward for it. Allah to Shaitan, or Iblis at that time before he became Shaitan, when Allah tells him to prostrate to Adam, does he prostrate to Adam? He doesn't. What does he say? He says, خلقتني min nar. You have made me from fire and you've made him from clay. And for that reason I am better than him. Allah says to him, you have to. When he does not agree with what Allah said to him, what does he say after that? لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ فَبِعِزَّتِكَ لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. By your might, O Allah, I will deviate all of them. What does he say after that? إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Except, he gives exception. Of whom? Of the worshippers who are true to you. People today may or may not believe the infallibility of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. But Iblis has declared this even before he landed. He said, I won't be able to take over these people. This in itself is what? Infallibility. Even Iblis knows I cannot deviate these people. You and I, Allah says, if you were to worship me, if you were to worship Allah, you too can take this level of what? Inna ibadi laysa laka alayhim sultan. Those who worship me, or Iblis, you do not have authority above them. So yes, you and I can have this level where even shaitan cannot even think of coming close to us. Even if it was to come with the intentions or with the suggestions, what would you do? You wouldn't listen to him. Shaitan, it's not like shaitan did not come to Anbiya. He did come to Anbiya. He came to Prophet Yahya alayhi salam. If you were to go and read the story between him and Yahya, he came to Prophet Isa alayhi salam. He came to Prophet Ibrahim when he was told to go and slaughter his son Ismail. He came to him and he said to him, are you sane? You're going to slaughter your son? Are you okay? Bearing in mind that Ibrahim alayhi salam was given his son after how many years? 120 years of age he was when he was given his first child. Imagine how dear that child was to him, and Allah says to him, go and slaughter him. Shaitan comes, come on, it's just a dream, oh Ibrahim. By the way, the dreams of the Anbiya are different to our dreams. Now, if I have a dream that, God forbid, I'm doing something which is against the will of Allah, I should not go ahead with it, because I am not infallible. Ibrahim alayhi salam is infallible, and he had to see it 3 times before he went ahead with it. So the dreams of the Anbiya are messages of Allah. Shaitan came to him, but they chose not to follow shaitan. So if you and I worship Allah, find Allah worthy of worship for the sake of what He is, even then shaitan will come to you, but you will have the power to overcome shaitan. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. السلام عليك يا نبي الله.